Can you just do it gently?
Gently begins tipping the ambrosia bottle until it begins to spill onto great grandfather. In a similar manner as when you poured the blood wine over him.
Yeah.
As a little stream of it, which is all she's doing in small doses, right? She, pours a little stream of it onto great grandfather. He instantly loses the red coloration he had before and becomes a golden color or golden sheen.
Ooh.
Despite him being a dried, shrunken head, it does look like he... Sort of like, like Romans would, like, wipe themselves up with olive oil to look more resplendent and radiant. Sort of like that. Despite him being a literal dried, shrunken head. But yeah, he changes color to a golden color, a honey golden color, and looks more moisturized, I guess.
Race probably just goes like, oh, now him look more like him used to.
He opens up, eyes, mouth. Oh, what is this?
Great grandfather.
Oh, why the world so bright?
Oh, it's going on a trip.
Oh, we're in the Feywild, sir.
That explains the taste. Oh, I feel like I took a step towards... He thinks for a moment. Where am I stepping towards?
You're stepping?
The
You don't
good?
have feet.
Hush, child!
Okay.
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah,
Sorry,
come on.
my bad.
What's wrong with you?
Take a look at the birthday tomes, Fred.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Oh?
Let's see what it says.
Under your section.
Oh. Oh.
Ooh.
One divine inspiration for you.
Oh, yeah.
Plus.
Plus?
So you technically have two. Because there's your actual one and then that one.
That's pretty sick.
And of course, when you use that divine inspiration, you're asking great grandfather.
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Of course.
Awesome.
My bad. Here, I'll add
One divine great grandfather.
GX question mark GF great grandfather. There you go. Great times unknown grandfather divine inspiration. There you go. Sounds like a math function.
Great grandfather eats 15 lemons.
If Ruhan eats 2 chocolate cakes and great grandfather gets a bottle of ambrosia, what's left for the rest of you?
Nothing.
Exactly.
A bottle of milk.
Oh. This be bright. Like when I was walking around.
Yeah, man. You be more, what the word, animated grandfather.
Yeah, he looks more animated. More importantly, he looks a bit more, how to say, lucid. Oh.
Huh.
We in the Fey Wilds, child.
Yeah.
Oh, we going to great places. But keep your wits about you. This place dangerous.
Yes. Yes, listen.
But with great danger comes great wealth. Great fortune. You keep your eye open for those too.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe you find what you need here, huh? Or at least a part.
Reese will look intently.
Fairies be tricksy. No offense, he says over to Kyra, and she raised an eyebrow that she's getting addressed to so directly. None taken. Pixie things no good for holding. Slippery things be good for sliding. Sliding in. Hmm?
Mm. Please get it. Mm.
Look to
Blood and
Burhan.
gold, child. Blood and gold. You already see what the place like. And then he just immediately goes back to what it was before. No, he's still golden color though. He just isn't as sleek. Like he looks dry again. He doesn't look obviously animated or lucid.
But he's shiny as
But
hell.
he's still a golden color. He looks metallic. Like fully metallic. Like, you know, like a little well, he was always, you know, it's metal, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Now him look more like himself. Him color back.
Paris stops and reactivates the incantations on the ambrosia. Well, that's good to hear. Although, I must say I'm quite surprised. Wasn't
Yeah,
anticipating
Reese
that.
too. Thank you.
She does a dismissive hand. Make no mention of it. Friends of Abigail are friends of ours.
Oh.
I know we might not seem like the sort, being the people that live in the Feywilds, but I do mean it.
It's been many long years since Reese had a chance to talk to great grandfather in this way.
She smiles widely and brightly. Family is always worth the sacrifice to go that little extra mile.
Mm.
I'm happy to
Unless,
shorten the distance. And she just gestures at the ambrosia vial.
thank you again. A lesson my parents could have learned better.
The sins of the parents are not the sins of the ancestry.
No.
Actually, here. She holds out the bottle to you, Riz.
I accept it.
You take it from her. It hums with magical energy. That's just how powerful this thing is innately. It doesn't do anything in specific. But just like the Shard of Ends, you know, it's
It just
versatile.
radiates magic.
As I said, it's always worth going the little extra mile to sacrifice for your family. Allow my family to lessen yours just a little bit.
Reese just puts the bottle away, and touches his heart, touches his forehead, and just says, "Thank you."
She holds a hand over her and just does a little bow. Thank you. So, that was interesting. I think we can all agree. Especially you,
Yeah.
Connor. I don't really have expectations for it, to be honest. Well, I hope that live up to your non-expectations then, child. And it couldn't hurt you to be a bit more expressive. She walks back to where she was before. Goes back to her cake. And eats it. What an interesting crew my daughter has us as friends.
Well, I'm glad you find us entertaining.
Entertaining sounds... I caution against using that in the Feywilds. It has a negative connotation.
Oh,
I
shit.
don't
okay.
find you... There's no offense, man. I don't find you entertaining, but I do find you charming. In your own ways.
I'll take that.
So,
Yes.
we have hours to spend. And I don't know how long Abigail will take. Is there anything else? Anything else at all?
After that last
Maybe
one,
in a bit.
Dink just sort of sits down and grabs some drink, sort of with his head down.
Got that honey meat. If nothing else.
Could I talk to you alone for a little while?
She raised an eyebrow. Oh. Certainly, child.
Okay.
Come on. She just wags a fork out one of the... Again, there are multiple double doors that lead into the dining halls. And she just points out one of the closest one to on this side of the room.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Well, before I go,
Eh.
do you mind if I light one of these to take out one of my cigars?
Just like him, and she points at Connor. Certainly. Be
How
my
many of us
guest.
do you have left?
Enough. Appreciated.
Oh, no, I was supposed to get... I was supposed to get the pipe for you. He looks at the idol. Some sort of silent conversation is had. By silent conversation, no conversation at all. Not even a telepathic one. The Eidolon knows what's up. He goes to go get the pipe.
Just
The
intense
only
staring.
thing. The only thing
I'm
Connor can need.
always of the opinion, this is probably because I play so many helmeted and masked characters, and make so many helmeted and masked characters, there's a hidden language of silence. Silent and non-facial expression, like, yeah, you know what's up. And that's what these two do. And then the Eidolon walks away.
Yeah, the Eidolon doesn't have a face. They're used to that kind of combo.
Yeah. So, you and Kyra Tavish walk out, and the door closes behind you as she does such.
Didn't
Yeah, the
think
question-
Rose was so.
Oh, no, go on. My bad.
Because I didn't think Rose was so bothered about the going hornless thing.
So,
Sorry, don't comment.
Rose, you and Kyra are out in the main hall. And she walks to the stairs, the foot of the stairs, and just simply sits down. She still has her cake, by the way.
I expected nothing less.
Yeah, she has her cake and just pats next to the step for you to sit down next to her.
Sure. She's just kind of like awkwardly like sits down, like just contemplating things.
All right, now real question:
Hmm.
who tries to eavesdrop? No one. Interessant. Respecting her privacy all of a sudden.
Oh no, Ruhan's just got other stuff going on.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
he's got his priorities.
Fair enough. So, if no one is listening in, that means I can move us to whispers.
Oh shit. Okay. Ah.
So, you and Kyra Tavish are sitting in the main hall at the foot of the bottom landing, rather, of the, well, it's exactly that, the bottom landing, of the stairs that lead to the upper tiers of the Tavish household. The place looks, as before, resplendent and pious, and absolutely radiant in its stained glass windowing, its perpetual magical lighting. And as you sit down next to Kyra, she just simply slides a bit away from you to create some distance, and she sits down her cake plate there. So, Jayad, what would you like to speak to me about? Take your time. Take your time.
She does. She pauses for a brief moment. I need your help. I need your help. Stop thinking there.
Her smile widens a bit. The first step to getting help is asking for it. What do you need my help with? I don't promise the worlds, but I've helped many of my time.
Yeah. It, you know my current situation with
Aye.
yeah, and how it seems to be worse than I could have possibly thought.
Life has a way of being unpredictable like that, aye.
Ugh. It's funny. You think it would like stop eventually. I thought it was
Oh,
getting better.
child. Life never stops in its turbulence.
Yeah.
One has to carve their own. And she gestures at this main hall, this resplendent, radiant main hall. One has to carve their own happiness in the wild. Trust me.
Hmm. That's. I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to figure out how to approach that, and not lose myself and everything.
Well, that's sort of the thing, child. You will end up losing yourself. Not in the way you're thinking, though. Not in some grand theatric ultimatum. Not like my child in there, changeling he is. No. You'll lose yourself in bits and pieces, small shreds. But that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nay, that's called compromise at times. You compromise to work together with others. You ignore the annoying things they do to make way for the blessed things they do. It is not the sacrificing of morals, unless you wish it to be so severe in the perspective. Nay, I prefer to call it compromise. And it is only a dead mortal that stays in their ways.
Hmm.
Is a dead anything that stays in their ways, and even then, not all. We're alive. We change. Some of the small shreds you lose along the way aren't always bad things or the good things to lose. That's just how life is. It's turbulent.
Hmm.
But you say you want to carve your own happiness.
Yeah.
Do you know where you want to start?
Hmm. I want to start with feeling secure that I'm not going to backstab my friends without knowing it.
That can be done.
Hmm.
There are a number of ways to sever permanently such ties. It is the power of the divine over the fell. Such
Oh,
capabilities.
that makes sense.
That's why the true gods are so magnificent. They do not need to beg nor grovel nor steal or poach followers. Their strength is true, regardless of who believes it, especially fell powers. And that can be demonstrated rather easily. The difference in strength. But there's a catch.
Hmm.
I say a catch, no, a requisite. The true, in their awesome power. As I said, they need not followers, nor believers. They are inevitable. So, in order to benefit from them, one must be devoted. They are not like the Fel that give out little paltry trinkets of power for the sake of recruitment. The true don't need that.
I think that's where I'm caught at. Because this has been running through my head for a little while. Actually, think about it, it's probably since I died. But I don't want to react out of fear again. Because that's what dragged me into this mess.
I'm sorry to tell you, child, for as long as you are mortal, you will be acting out of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of dying, fear for another, fear for love, fear for family.
Right.
To be fearless is to not be mortal.
That makes sense.
The Eidolon in there do not fear, for they were never alive. They have no fears. No, child, you do not need to be fearless. You need to be brave. One cannot be brave without fear.
Because it's the drive for it.
You can only be brave against something you're afraid, not brave something for something. You see? You will always be acting out of fear one way or another, whether you know it or not. But that's not what I'm trying to tell you, reach you with. I just want you to accept that truth and try not to battle against it. Battle with it.
How do you determine what is the right approach then? When acting in fear and not make the worst mistake. Make a worse mistake. I don't know.
There are always worse mistakes, child, I assure you. And that's sort of where to begin. There could always be worse. Surely, as well, there could always be better, but we, as mortals, do not have the luxury of eternity. Even myself, as eternal as I am, didn't know that getting to this point. And I don't know that even now. Could something absolutely calamitous happen, and I lose my love, my children, my family, my house? Maybe. Do I let the fear, the paranoia of that strike me so hard that I am rendered paralyzed? No. Because that's not the way to live. Right? You just have to let it go. You have to do. You have to act. Life is turbulent, and if you let it have its devices upon you, it will knock you around senseless. But if you brace for the blows, not fight against the current, but you brace for the blows, you think of how to switch tides, how to swim from one to the next. That is where I would recommend starting. As you say, the road, the blows keep coming. Then you gotta keep going. Use the momentum. One into the other. Into the other. Just keep going. We don't have the luxury of knowing everything. Or the curse of it. So we shouldn't try to learn everything. Because we can't. Like today, she gestures at the main hall. I've never seen a voodoo head drink ambrosia and become more alive.
That was very interesting.
Aye.
How does that work? I don't need to know how that works.
It's a process. But what I'm saying is life is unpredictable. It's ups and it's downs. There is a ray of light in every storm. You just have to keep moving through it until you find the eye. And if you want me to help give you a bastion amidst the rain and torrent, I can. But, as I said, with the gods above, true, You have to be devoted to it. And I won't waste their times otherwise. Because that would be insulting. And just outright rude.
Makes sense.
So, she stands up, dusts herself off a bit, and just stands above you and holds out a hand. Are you ready to make that step? Or she rescinds her hand. Do you want to think about it? A faith first is no faith at all.
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it a lot. I need somebody to be a good example, I suppose, and push in direction. Yeah,
You gotta be the example for yourself.
Alright.
You won't always have your friends. You might want to do good by them, but you should do good by yourself first. It's the healthy thing. It's the healthy thing to do, child. Ruhan thinks less of you, I can tell. Because he thinks less of himself. But the key to healing for both of you is you not looking upon each other in such regret. In lost potentialities and opportunities. Each other and yourselves. So, she extends our hand. If you want to be the catalyst for that, it is up to you.
I don't think she really has words. She just has to just determine nod and like takes her hand. It's like, yeah.
As you take her hand, this not facade, because that makes it sound fake. It's not fake. It's not glamour either. It's not some weird technicality. It is a state of being. As you take her hand, this gentle state of being, this mortal state of being, the state of existence, just like when you, or rather when, well, yeah, you as well, you raise via Ruhan came back to reality. The pulling of veils. As you take her hand, the pulling of veils happens upon Kyra herself, and you see her change. She looks the same, short hair, fair skin, eternally young. Her clothes change. They sort of mystify into cleric garb. Combat cleric garb at that. So it's bound at its wrists, upon its waist, and stuff like that. And you see that she does have a series of sets of wings. Different colored. Or rather, gradients of gray to black, white to black. White, gray, black. 3 sets. And her eyes have an absolutely radiant glow to them. And then you blink, and she's back to normal. Or rather, you're forced to blink, because looking too long would scar your eyes.
Fair.
Then, the first step is made. To which divine should I humble you to?
I joined up with the Slayers in the first place because I wanted to expand civilization. I wanted to protect things, or protect people from things in the Force and stuff, so Octavian.
He nods. The expansion of civilization is well within Octavian's field. The protection of society is as well. But, remember, Octavian is, to say, in a word, a macro god.
He doesn't care about the small things. He just cares about the end results.
The small things of commerce and tax, yes. People will always be around under Octavian. People, not persons. So, if I am to humble you to exalted Octavian, the bringer of the harvest, the blade of civilization, know that he thinks for the grand, not the minute, nor the personal.
I am fully accepting of that reality.
Very well. She pulls you up, off the bottom steeps of the stairway. But as she pulls you up, it's as if gravity turns off for you. You just keep floating up and away. The ceiling it cracks and becomes replaced with a pure white cloud, series of clouds, and you just sort of fly through it. And you see a grand cathedral above the clouds. Massive. Manned. Heavily manned and armed and armored. No security checkpoints or anything of the sort. It's just its walls are flooded with partitioners, partisans, and sentries. You get a look at the magnificent stained glass window, which I believe I've shown people before.
Probably. Was it the Magic the Gathering card?
Correct.
Yeah, I remember this. Don't remember what it looks like exactly, but I remember the events.
The history of Benalia. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's a stained glass window like that. Circular, though. Not like a tall pillar. You see this glorious stained glass visage, the sun behind the depiction of Exalted Octavian grows brighter. Almost like this sort of spotlight or Eye of Sauron-esque thing. It grows brighter and focuses and just blasts your form as it witnesses you. You have to blink once more because of how bright it is, or else you'll be just like stare at the sun, you'll go
Literally
blind.
Blinded, yeah.
Yes. And when you unblink, you're back and you're just standing up holding Kyra's hand, and she just lets go. Stands, takes a step back, stands at attention, not like to say that she's stiff or tense, but she just sort of stands a bit more widely as if regarding you. Puts her hands, cups them together, crosses, meshes their fingers, and just puts them up to her torso, her chest, her sternum, like a prayer manner. God's blessed. Welcome to the fold.
Rose doesn't know the procedures for this, but she does bow her head below Kyra. Just says, thank you. Thank you.
Now then, I'm sure their friends must be getting worried. She just sort of hurriedly walks past you, bends over, picks up the cake plate. Let's go speak to them, eh? And don't be afraid of letting them in on what just happened. Any part of it. They deserve to know.
Oh yeah. I'll let them know once I process it in a little bit. Just a little bit. That was
Very
a
well.
lot. That was a lot.
They may be able to help you process it, but it is up to you. Now come on. What up, nerd?